Welcome back to the Sailor Academy. My name is Jameel Armstrong. Now, previously I created a video about a year ago detailing the slang and terminology that us Navy sailors use. Now, that one was a little bit different. That was more like out of boot camp. Like a lot of the slang that was used was very recruit handbook. So this one is more of like the slang that we use in our day-to-day interactions with our other shipmates or other sailors. This is less like RDC Great Lakes coded. So let's start off with all hands. So all hands is basically whether you guys are like gonna perform like an exercise, like it's all hands, or if you guys are going to a meeting, all hands meaning like involving everybody in that command. So me, like if there was like an all hands for like a ceremony or something, then myself and everybody in the command will have to attend that ceremony, that all hands ceremony. Blue Falcons. We're gonna dive in a little more derogatory terms, right? Blue Falcon is, for lack of a better term, it's a buddy, right? So somebody that will do anything in their power to cost you promotion opportunities or throw you under the bus. Overall, just stay away from this person. They're very easy to spot out, right? They may seem nice at first, right? But they have other alternative motives. They have other intentions in mind. Be wary of Blue Falcons because they don't care about you. They only care about them. What can I do to progress my career further? Instead of let me help these other sailors, let me build these other sailors up. And yeah, these people do not belong in our military. Balls or midnight. Balls is 0000. So if you look at the military time, it will be all zeros, so resembling balls. No diddy.
What?
Battle buddy. Essentially, you gotta make sure that you're keeping eyes on this guy. You gotta have a battle buddy, right? Especially if you guys are in a foreign country. It's just best practice to have somebody with you if you are going to like a foreign location or somewhere new. So you're not taking advantage of like a Thai woman, right? Or like you're just captured by the cartel and you're just nowhere to be seen. It's just best practice to have your battle buddy beside you. Next is a chit, or in civilian terms, kind of like a hall pass, right? It's just a piece of document that you have to route up to the chain of command, just basically giving you the permission to do something or have something. Yes, I do shave, but I go maybe 2-3 days without shaving just to give my skin enough time to like breathe a little bit, so I'm not shaving every day. You know, I went to medical for that. I got a chit. I had that signed up to my commanding officer. Cadillac, this is not a vehicle, right? But it is a way of transit to move water in a bucket, right? So in order so you can mop the floor. Cadillac is a mop bucket. When you guys are doing cleaners, like, all right, can someone go get the Cadillac? You're getting the mop bucket. We're gonna be talking about Dirtbag. This could be used interchangeably with bag. I know I'm trying to do this alphabetically, but better to just kill two birds with one stone. The bottom of the barrel, worst sailor you can possibly imagine. They're always there late. Their uniform's not on point. They always have a bad attitude. They're always complaining about something and they just don't want to work. Horrible work ethic. You don't want to be this guy or this woman coming in, show up, uniform on point, show up 15 minutes prior to work, right? Set an alarm, make sure your phone is charged, make sure you're good to go. A lot of people, their excuse of, oh, I'm late because my phone didn't go off, my alarm didn't come off. And then you don't want to build that reputation of being a dirtbag sailor. All right, so this speaks for itself, right? I don't really need to dive deep into this word. We use this every single day. The word is so versatile that we can just use it in so many different situations, whether it be excitement, you're appalled, anger, disappointment. So many ways you can use this word. The galley is the cafeteria, if you guys don't know. If you are like E4, E5 and below, you're gonna be going to the galley. It's gonna provide all your food, pretty good, depending on where you're stationed at. If you're on a ship, then I wish the best of luck to you. But if you're like at a shore station like me, like in Bahrain, you know, the galley's not that bad. Right? Gear adrift, you'll hear this a lot in boot camp. If you are getting your room inspected, you'll see like on the inspection sheets, like, oh, this person had gear adrift just laying out. So it's like loose secureable items, just like out in the open, or just loose equipment, right? That's essentially gear adrift. Gundecking. Don't be that guy, don't be that lady, don't be that person to gun deck your quals, gun deck your maintenance. So gundecking is like, for lack of a better term, bullshit, right? You're bullshit through your work. You didn't do that maintenance. You didn't use that equipment to perform that maintenance, right? You didn't use those tools. You just looked at it and then you went into whatever interface you used to check your maintenance and you signed it off, right? You didn't actually perform that maintenance. Or if you're doing quals, you're signing off on your quals and you're not actually good, like getting training on the equipment that you're learning on, or you're just bullshit through your work. It's kind of extreme, right? But it could cost lives if you are gun decking. Hurry up and wait. I first understood the concept of hurry up and wait when I was at MEPS. So you're constantly moving, you're constantly running, or not, okay, running is a bit of an overstatement, but you're moving, right, to go to a certain station or to do a certain thing, or to go somewhere, and then boom, like you're waiting for like 15, 30 minutes, even an hour. You're like, why did I even rush, right? So that's hurry up and wait. There is a lot of that in the Navy, in the military in general, but it's just something that you have to get used to. This is more of a concept more than like a term, but if you're not early, then you're late. If you're like doing a watch turnover, it's best practice to come to watch 15 minutes prior to the actual time. But then it's like, then you have to actually do the turnovers, like to give the information out. So it's literally like 15 minutes prior to the 15 minutes prior. Not show up on time, but not show up early, but kind of show up a little bit before early. If you get it, you'll get it. If you know, you know. So next you have Joe Navy. Well, okay, so let me explain, right? I said in the last video that this was primarily just an aesthetic. Joe Navy is that guy, right? You know who you are. A Joe Navy is that guy that shows up to work when they're not working, or is highly ecstatic about the Navy and perceives the Navy as they could do no wrong and they're the greatest organization to ever work for. It's honestly exhausting to deal with a Joe Navy person. They drink honor, courage, commitment. Oh, you cringe, right? They're definitely doing 20 plus. They might actually just, basically they're gonna be in there for the long run. You know a Joe Navy when you see one. Khakis are an essential part of the Navy. They are the chiefs, the mess, E7 and above. So you'll know a khaki when you see their NSUs. They'll be rocking the like a beige color. It'll be all beige. That's a khaki colored uniforms. Liberty, freedom. But for me, liberty is like your day off. Like if you had just been relieved, now you have liberty until your next shift. And then leave is just another term for vacations. If you guys are follow to me on Instagram, you guys know that I'm gonna be going back home in San Diego. That's my leave for a whole month. I'm going back home. Well, it's not a term, but it's a phrase. It's called living the dream. So this is a response to a question that a lot of people ask you if you're like on transit to somewhere. Someone's being like, hey, what's going on, Armstrong? How you doing? And then you will like reply like, oh, you know, living the dream. It's a common phrase. You know, you might receive one of those throughout your journey in the military, but when they say living the dream, they're definitely not living the dream. It's more of like a sarcastic type of like response, like help me. MidRats. So MidRats is galley food served at midnight. So if you are working the night shift and you're hungry and you're trying to save some money, go to the galley during MidRats. That's when they will be open and they'll be serving out. Well, over here they serve out like breakfast food, so like eggs and like omelets, right, during MidRats. Next is Mando Fun, mandatory fun. If you guys know, you know, it's basically events coordinated by the command or the base, right? And it's mandatory. You have to go there. It's like an all hands, but max that's like a fun, right? So you go to these, right? Mandatory fun days. You guys already know. Peep your head in, be like, hey, what's up, guys? And then maybe show up for like a game or two, and then offline is usually said by like higher enlisted people that are like in leadership positions, like, hey, can I speak? I'll speak to you offline about this. It's basically like where you guys can have like a one-on-one, and then boom, we'll like go over here and talk about something. Sailor proof. So if you guys do maintenance, right, you guys will have cards to read off of. It'll basically tell you like the step-by-step how to perform your maintenance, or a SOP, standard operating procedures. It'll tell you how to perform this piece of equipment, and it'll give you steps on how to do that, certain procedures. So if you are above the age of 6, you could actually read these SOPs. That's sailor proof. Sailor proof equipment, sailor proof SOPs. You can't mess it up. Next is sick call. Sick call is a time where sailors who are not malingering, so malingering meaning like you're faking your illness to get out of work, go to medical and receive a diagnosis from medical. We're like, all right, we're gonna give you a SIQ chit, sick in quarters chit, right? That's another chit, SIQ chit, and you'll be SIQ, sick in quarters, for how many days they prescribe to you, right? And they'll give you like some medication, you know, maybe some Tylenol or something like that. I don't know. I haven't been to sick call yet, but I remember I went to sick call once at Corey Station, and they gave me like 5 days SIQ because I was sick as a dog. Next is Swab. We already talked about Cadillac, which was the mop bucket. Swab is the mop. Turnovers. Once you've completed your 12-hour watch shift or whatever schedule you guys are operating on, you guys are going to turn over and be relieved by the next section or the next division or the next, however your command does it, right? That is essentially turnover. Turnover is the finish line, basically, so to speak. That's what you're looking forward to throughout the watch. Voluntold. Voluntold is like, like if I have to escort people, I'm being voluntold. So there's no ifs, ands, buts, or discussion about it, right? So if you are typically the lower enlisted out of the group, you will be told to do you will be voluntold to perform certain tasks. Oh man, how did I forget? Cranking, right? So if you are on a ship cranking, if you're like me, like if you're like an E4, E3, you're gonna be sent down to where the CSs are working, and you're gonna be helping them out, whatever CS related duties that come with being a CS, right? So cooking or, you know, handling food, that's essentially cranking on a ship. Out of regs, right? Where's your blousing straps? You don't have your belt. Where's your cover? You're out of regs. If you don't have a no shave Chit and you have like a full grown LeBron type beard, then you're out of regs. Out of regulations, basically. Fix yourself. Final one we're gonna talk about is watch. You'll be standing watch in boot camp, you'll be standing watch in A school, and you'll be standing watch once you get to the fleet. Standing watch is your shift work, it's your jobs, your duty, and then collaterals on top of that. Collaterals is like kind of like side missions. So like, you know, like when you're in school and you have like elective classes, that's basically like collateral. So it's like side missions basically. But no, yeah, watch is basically your shift work. It can range from like 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, basically whatever at the CEO's discretion. Hopefully this one was a little bit more day-to-day based that you guys can actually apply instead of more of like the Hooyah Navy type slang and terms that I used in my first video when I was back at Corey. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.